When Matt proposed to me, I should have been over the moon. He planned the whole thing so perfectly. An intimate dinner at the little Italian restaurant where we had our first date, followed by a walk under the twinkling lights downtown. He dropped to one knee in the middle of the square, holding out a simple but beautiful ring. People clapped. I cried. And I said yes. At that moment, I thought I was ready. But looking back now, I realize I said yes to the idea of marriage, not to the reality of what it meant. Matt was everything a woman is supposed to want. He was kind, dependable, family-oriented, steady in ways that made me feel safe. My parents loved him. His family welcomed me with open arms. He had a good job, stable plans for the future, and all he ever wanted was to build a life together. On paper, he was perfect. And for the first year of our engagement, I played the part of the grateful fiancé. I smiled at bridal showers, I toured venues, I pinned dresses online. But inside, a restlessness started to grow, like an itch I couldn't scratch. It began innocently enough. A night out with my girlfriends where they joked about our wild days. I laughed along, but later that night, lying in bed next to Matt while he snored softly, I felt this pang of envy. My friends still had stories to tell, nights that blurred into mornings, hookups they laughed about over brunch. And me? I was locked into a forever that suddenly felt suffocating. I started saying it out loud. First as a joke, then more seriously. Sometimes I miss my hoe phase, I'd tease. Matt would roll his eyes, kiss my forehead, and say, yeah, but look what you've got now. And I'd laugh, but the words stayed in the air longer than they should have. I convinced myself it was harmless, that everyone wonders about what they gave up. But the more I said it, the more it became a weapon. The breaking point came during an argument that started over something small. Matt had been working long hours, and I felt neglected. He came home late one night, and instead of being understanding, I pounced. I accused him of caring more about his job than me. He tried to explain, but I didn't want explanations. I wanted a fight. And when he stayed calm, when he refused to rise to my bait, I snapped. I grabbed the ring off my finger, hurled it onto the couch, and spat out the words I can never take back. Maybe I don't even want this. Maybe I miss being single, going out, having fun. I miss my hoe phase, Matt. This? I pointed to the ring. Feels like a prison. The silence that followed was heavier than any shouting could have been. Matt just stared at me, his face unreadable. Finally, he said, if that's how you feel, then maybe you shouldn't be marrying me. His voice wasn't angry. It was quiet, steady, and final. I expected him to storm out, to slam a door, to beg me later to take it back. Instead, he stood, picked up the ring, placed it gently on the table, and said, think about what you just threw away. Then he left. I told myself he'd come back. That we'd fight, make up, and move on. But the next day, I saw he'd updated his relationship status online. He called his parents, told them the wedding was off. By the end of the week, his entire family had unfriended me, blocked my number, cut me out completely. They didn't even ask for my side of the story. To them, Matt was the victim, and I was the woman who broke their son's heart after he gave me everything. At first, I was furious. I vented to my friends, saying things like, they're all overreacting. Everyone doubts marriage sometimes. I was just being honest. But deep down, I knew I wasn't just being honest. I was cruel. I had taken Matt's love and stability, twisted it into a cage, and shoved it back in his face. The weeks that followed were brutal. Vendors called about canceled deposits. My mom cried when she told her friends the wedding was off. Everywhere I went, people asked, what happened? I tried to soften the story. We just weren't ready, it wasn't the right time. But rumors have a way of spreading. Eventually, people heard the real version, that I told him I missed being a hoe, that I threw the ring at him like it was trash. Suddenly, I wasn't just the girl who called off her engagement. I was the girl who humiliated the nicest guy anyone knew. Matt moved on faster than I expected. I saw photos of him with friends, smiling, living his life. A few months later, someone sent me a picture of him with another woman. She wasn't flashy, just a normal girl with kind eyes and a warm smile. They looked happy, and I felt something twist in my chest that I couldn't untangle. Because while he was building a new life, I was stuck in the wreckage of the old one. I tried dating again, thinking maybe I really did want the freedom I claimed. But every guy I met made me feel emptier. They didn't call when they said they would. They wanted hookups, not commitment. And the attention I thought I missed? It felt hollow, cheap, like eating candy when I was starving for a real meal. I thought about calling Matt 100 times, begging for another chance. But what would I even say? That I didn't mean it? That I was scared? That I sabotaged the best thing that ever happened to me because I couldn't handle how good it was? He wouldn't believe me. He shouldn't believe me. Because the truth is, I meant every word in that moment. I did miss the chaos, the recklessness, the shallow validation. I missed it enough to throw away the man who gave me his whole heart. Now, a year later, I'm alone. The friends I used to party with have settled into relationships. They're buying houses, having babies, posting family photos while I scroll from a couch in a one-bedroom apartment. My parents are disappointed but too polite to say it out loud. And Matt? He's still with that same woman. I heard they just got engaged. Sometimes I lie awake at night and picture what my life would look like if I had swallowed my restlessness, if I had chosen gratitude over envy, maturity over impulse. I imagine a wedding album on our coffee table, holidays with his family, a home filled with love instead of silence. And then I remind myself that I traded all of that for the illusion of freedom I never even used. Matt won, in every sense. He walked away with dignity, with the support of everyone who mattered, with a future I threw in the trash along with that ring. And me? I'm left with nothing but the echo of my own words. I miss my hoe phase. Taunting me like a cruel joke.